All right, the kids are back in school and football season is right around the corner. Attorney David Ayler is here to discuss injuries in school sports. David, this affects a lot of kids.
Right.
Yeah, so, now 'tis the season, I guess. How do we deal with this? If I'm a parent, my son or daughter is injured, what's the next step? I mean, get help, medical help first,
right.
but then what?
Obviously, fortunately, over the past few years, we've heard a lot about more precautions that they're putting in place in both public and private schools because there's been some tragic situations that have occurred. But if, in fact, your child is involved in, a school athletic sport and something happens, you want to make sure that after they get that care, you want to go back and look and see what precautions were taken within that sport. You want to make sure what equipment they were using. Were they getting, the water breaks and the equipment that was being used, was it faulty equipment? These are type of things that really are worth taking a look at because unfortunately sometimes these athletic facilities, they're not properly equipped with what they need as far as the safety precautions, and that may be due to shortage of funding, or it may just be carelessness on part of the athletic departments.
Okay, so when we look at our insurance policy, if I have someone playing football, that all those injuries are covered under that. Is there anything I need to do on my end?
Well, it's going to be a situation where a lot of times people are using their own policies, like a family would use their own insurance policy if their child was hurt. But in reality, with the help of an attorney, you would have looked to see if it actually should go against the policy of the school. And then beyond that, if there was some sort of malfeasance that occurred, some negligence, there may actually be litigation that would come against the school in regards to what happened if in fact something has occurred that caused that injury, or something that should have occurred that didn't, that caused the injury. So it's worth looking at. I know that sounds terrible that you don't want to look directing at the school, but if there's a serious injury that occurred that shouldn't have, now we're not talking about just an injury that occurred on the field, but if there's something that happened due to some sort of negligent act, or if there's some sort of faulty equipment, those are worth looking into, and that's where an attorney could get involved. Because if you have a child that's been seriously hurt, there may be something that's happened that shouldn't have, that where litigation could come into play.
Okay, so if it's, I don't want to minimize anything, but let's say they break an arm, someone slams into them, like that's, you wouldn't consider that. That's
you would
just
consider
part
that part of the game, right?
Part of the
the
game.
risk that you're taking to be involved of, let's say, a full contact sport like a lacrosse or a football.
Now, I know a lot of people, when you say attorney, sometimes people get nervous, like it's going to be expensive. So at what point do I say this? I need to go further with it.
At a minimum, it's probably worth speaking with an attorney. Any attorney that handles personal injury, that type of litigation, was going to be someone that could at least advise you and look into it. They may have an investigator that could go out there and type of research and try to determine, is it worth going forward? This isn't going to be something you're going to spend thousands of dollars on. Getting that consultation is probably going to cost you nothing, and it's at least worth looking into to determine, is there going to be something we should look further into, bring an expert in, and go forward. And those costs are going to be put up by the attorney. And it may be nothing. It may be something that, it's just worth that peace of mind. But if you have these serious injuries and it doesn't seem right, it probably isn't.
Okay, thank you, as always.
Thanks for having
Trial Tuesday with attorney David Ayler, and we've got much more Low Country Live right after the break.